Batman has to win by being smart. He doesn't have the powers of the other guys, of Superman or any of those guys. So, you know, Val did. Val and Michael had those powers, but part of my contract, they just said you don't get any superpowers.
Batman is probably one of the most flexible characters I've ever seen in any form of entertainment. Spider-Man is always Spider-Man. Superman is always Superman. Batman is a lot of different things at a lot of different times. Batman's story is fairly grim, but if you don't say that his parents were murdered, you can have a fun, campy Batman.
George Clooney played a warm and fuzzy Bruce Wayne, kind of the guy next door, the guy that all the women love. And it was a completely different interpretation of Bruce Wayne.
George is a huge plus to the picture. He brings a great deal of heart to the Bruce Wayne character, to his daytime character.
Well, I think he was probably what I would call the kinder, gentler Batman, because I think he was the most, in some ways, the most accessible Batman, because, again, he was very comfortable with the kind of wealth and very comfortable being a playboy. You know, that party scene where he's being interviewed. Again, he's just really, he's just really comfortable, and he has that sort of like classic movie star sort of look.
There is a humanity to George, a kindness, a warmth that I think is new, and I think very much needed and very appealing.
Why are all the gorgeous ones homicidal maniacs? Is it me?
He's mischievous, too. So he has a terrible life. He's touring between Elle Macpherson and Uma Thurman. His life is a horror.
I tried to make this character, Bruce Wayne, and Batman, but mostly Bruce Wayne, I wanted him to look and sound like a doctor on a high-rated television show. And I thought, you know, with my acting range, that I'd be able to do that. And I've seen some of the dailies and stuff, and I've seen little pieces of the film, and I think that I achieved that.
There's a wonderful scene where George Clooney says, you know, I love you, old man. I'm paraphrasing here, but it is they all, play it very, very warmly and with a lot of heart. And I thought Clooney, made a very good Bruce Wayne, and no place better than in that scene, and really captured what they were going for with the movie, which was about heart and family and valor and bravery. You don't have to wear a suit and ride around in a fancy car to be a hero. Sometimes the bravest heroes are the ones who just stoke the home fires and keep everybody sane back in the cave.
There are several Robins that existed in the comic book version. Each Robin, we do play a little differently. From the Dick Grayson version of Robin, who was the orphan who was brought, who went through almost the same life experience that Bruce Wayne did. They had a natural bond there because they both suffered the loss of parents, and that's something that it's unspoken between the two of them. That's a pain that they both share, and therefore it's a motivation between the two of the characters.
Well, with Robin, you get a character who is sort of a younger mirror image of Bruce Wayne. Certainly he's a character Bruce Wayne could have been if tragedy had befallen his parents at another phase of his life. With Robin, you have a character who is just as committed to righting wrongs and avenging the death of his family. However, as a teen, he's got much more intensity and a more hair-trigger temper than Bruce Wayne would ever allow himself.
I want a Robin signal in the sky, all right? I'm tired of living in your shadow. All that ends right now.
Robin is at the point in his career in Gotham. He now has his own fan club. He has people send him all sorts of letters, and he's very big with the girls in Gotham. And he thinks that he should have a sign up in the sky, too. Instead of it just being the bat signal, he thinks that he should have his own logo in the sky.
Where do you think you're going?
It's not a bat light, it's a Robin signal.
He's a scrapper and a fighter, and he's very feisty. As Alfred says to Bruce very early in the movie, you both follow the same star, he just has a different course. And Batman, in the paternal role, does what a lot of us do with younger people, which is he tries to protect him or stop him from doing things that might harm him. And if you've ever tried to do that with a young person, you know it's really a waste of time.
They fight over Poison Ivy. Robin is pretty cocky and thinks that, of course, she's after him, and thinks that that's what's driving Batman crazy.
He just doesn't listen, He's just he's a little anxious. I think he's exactly what Batman was probably 10, 12, 15 years earlier, which was, you know, a little more gung-ho, and now he kind of takes his time and thinks about things a little bit more.
Well, I think he's getting a little sick of always being in Batman's shadow. You know, playing second fiddle to Batman. I mean, he's got his name in the title, which is a big improvement for him, Batman and Robin. But you know, I think he's wondering why it can't be Robin and Batman.
Her background is always real hazy and whatnot, because she's kind of Jim Gordon's daughter, but she's not Jim Gordon's daughter at the same time, depending on which rendition of her backstory, you know, you read. You know, in the TV show, she's a librarian, but in the books, you know, there's no hint of librarian going on there unless they write it in as a nod to the old TV show.
Alicia Silverstone, she's fabulous as Batgirl. Strong and powerful and perfect choice.
Batgirl is just pure trouble. She's trouble in leather. Robin and Batgirl, they have kind of the same personalities. They're both going to just jump in without really thinking about how to save, how actually they're going to get out of situations.
She's kind of like a little rebel, a loner, definitely a loner. She's pretty righteous and defensive, and all for a good cause. She really, really believes that Alfred's being mistreated, and she's come to save him, and that's all she's come to do. And I'm the only one who can see that he's sick, and nobody else is paying attention. And I think these guys are jerks. Like, I can't believe that these guys are having this dear old man as their slave. To me, he's just a slave to them.
She's never done an action film like this, and sometimes it would be so crazy on the set, and they'd be kind of throwing out instructions. She'd be like, "What am I doing? What am I?" You know what I mean? I'd be like, "Just jump and yell," you know, and she'd just kind of like, "Okay," you know, and she'd just jump and yell, and it would work perfect.
I can ride a motorcycle brilliantly, and I can use a computer brilliantly, and I know I can help. So I ask Alfred to suit me up and make me a suit, and he does, and he says he's proud of me for that.